Guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video I'll be talking about clavicle bone, and we will cover peculiarities of the clavicle, parts of the clavicle, nutrient foramen, congenital anomalies, and some extra points. And I'm sorry for the background noise in advance. So let's start. So clavicle is also known as the beauty bone or the collarbone. The function of the clavicle is it supports the shoulder so that our arm can swing clearly away from the trunk, and the second function is it transmits the weight of the limb to the sternum. Now we'll talk about the parts of the clavicle. So it has cylindrical part, which is also called as the shaft, and there will be two ends. So the end that is present on the lateral side is called as the lateral end, and it is also called as the acromial end, and it is somewhat flat in shape. And on the medial side, the end present is the medial end, and it is also called as the sternal end, and it is quadrilateral in shape. Now on the inferior surface, the groove is present, which is called as the subclavian groove, and it is present on the medial 1/3 part. And the shaft of the clavicle is divided into two parts, that is the lateral 1/3 part and the medial 2/3 part. So lateral 1/3 part is concave in shape, and the medial 2/3 part is convex in shape, and the junction where lateral 1/3 part and medial 2/3 part meet with each other is the most common site of the fracture in the clavicle bone. So now we will talk about the peculiarities of the clavicle. So it is the most common bone to get fractured. It is the first bone that ossify, and when it will ossify, it ossify in the 5th week of the intrauterine life, and it is the only long bone that is horizontally placed, as we all know that all our bones in our body is placed like this, like vertically placed, but the clavicle is the only long bone that is present horizontally. A clavicle has no medullary cavity. It is subcutaneous bone, means you can feel it by your fingers, by touch. So it is subcutaneous throughout, uh, and it is the long bone that ossify in membrane. It is the long bone which have two primary center of ossification, and there will be one secondary center of ossification. Now we'll talk about the parts. So as we already discussed, there will be lateral 1/3 part and the medial 2/3 part. So lateral 1/3 part is flat, and the medial 2/3 part is quadrilateral. So in the lateral 1/3 part, there will be two borders and two surfaces. So there will be anterior border and the posterior border. So on the anterior border, the deltoid muscle is attached, and on the posterior side, the trapezius muscle is attached. And so there will be two surfaces, superior surface and the inferior surface. And on the inferior surface, the ridge is present, that is called as the trapezoid ridge and the conoid tubercle. So that is the tubercle that is present on the inferior side on the lateral 1/3 part, and there is the ridge that is present on the lateral 1/3 part, which is called as the trapezoid ridge. Now I'll talk about the medial 2/3 part. It has four surfaces: anterior, posterior, superior, and inferior surface. So on the anterior surface, pectoralis major muscle is attached, and on the posterior surface, sternohyoid muscle is attached, and on the superior surface, it gives rise to sternocleidomastoid muscle, and on the inferior surface, subclavius muscle is attached. So subclavius muscle is attached on the inferior side. Now we'll talk about the ends. So as we already discussed, there will be acromial end and the sternal end. So acromial end articulate with the acromion process of the scapula, and it forms the acromioclavicular joint, that is a type of a plant synovial joint. So sternal end articulate with the clavicular notch of the manubrium sterni, and it forms the sternoclavicular joint, and it is a type of a saddle or sellar joint. So now we will talk about the nutrient foramen. So nutrient foramen present at the lateral end of the groove, and it transmits a branch of the suprascapular artery, but occasionally it can be pierced by the middle supraclavicular nerve. Now we'll talk about the congenital anomalies. So there will be clavicular dysostosis, in which medial and lateral part of the clavicle doesn't join with each other. And in the cleidocranial dysostosis, there will be congenitally absence of the clavicle, or there will be improper development of the clavicle can be seen. Because of this, we can see the presence of the shoulder droop. in which the chest came in the front side. So now we'll talk about some extra points. So in this, fracture of the clavicle causes drooping or sinking of the shoulder. Second one is clavicle fuses at 21 years of the age. But when it has started ossifying, it has started ossifying in the 5th week, but it fuses at 21 years and it is pierced by the supraclavicular nerve. I would like to add some more points that are involved in the weight transmission of the upper limb to the sternum. So here are some ligaments. First one is the acromioclavicular ligament. Second one is the coricoclavicular ligament. In this, conoid and trapezoid part is involved. Third one is the sternoclavicular ligament. Fourth one is the costoclavicular ligament. Fifth one is the interclavicular ligament, and the ligament that is not involved in the weight transmission is the acromial ligament. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys.